Room 217 was never vacant. Or was it? Welcome back to Sleepy Echo Unwind. And if you're new here, welcome. Whether this is your first night with us, or you've been wandering these haunted halls for a while, I'm glad you're here. If you enjoy eerie stories designed to help you relax, drift off, or simply escape for a while, consider subscribing and joining us for more strange places and unsettling tales. Now, tonight, I am your guide to the Starlight Motel. My name is Michael. I'm filling in for Echoes. There is only one rule you must remember. Don't enter room 217. Light your lantern, slow your breathing, and let's begin our journey through this vacant hotel. Welcome, traveler. Don't worry about the car. It won't be starting again. Not tonight. Probably not ever. That's how it begins for everyone who finds their way here. You're lucky, in a way. The rain has stopped. For now. Look up. You see it, don't you? Through the grasping skeletal fingers of the trees, that weak buzzing pulse of color against the bruised twilight sky. It's a sickly pink with a flickering, desperate blue underneath. The S, the T, and the A gave up the ghost years ago. All it says now is Starlight Motel. Below that, a word flickers on and off in a sputtering green that looks like poison. Vacancy. It's a lie and an invitation, all in one. This is the Starlight Motel, a forgotten little postcard from 1982, dropped on the edge of a road nobody travels anymore. And I'm your guide for the night. You can't see me, of course, but you can hear me. I'm the voice in the static between radio stations. I'm the whisper you mistake for the wind. I was the last one to get a key from the man at the desk. I was the last one who thought this was just a place to rest my head. Come on, the air's getting cold. The smell of damp asphalt and pine is starting to curdle into something else. Something like rust and old meat. You don't want to be out here when the last of the light is gone, trust me. You can go anywhere you like. It's not much, but it's a place. Check out the empty, cracked swimming pool, half filled with black water and dead leaves. Listen to the mournful hum of the ancient ice machine. Run your fingers over the peeling paint and the sticky, nameless stains in the hallway. Anywhere. There's just one rule, a simple one, the only rule that matters here at the Starlight. Follow it if you want to see the sunrise. Do not, under any circumstances, enter room 217. People whisper stories about that room. Ghosts, a heartbroken bride, things that go bump in the night. They're all wrong. The truth behind that door is colder, quieter, and so much worse than any ghost story. The last person who broke that rule, well, they're still checking out. They're part of the motel's permanent collection now, just like me. So, walk with me. Let's get you settled in. Your long night is just beginning. Section 1. The Arrival. Your shoes crunch on the gravel, and the sound is obscenely loud in the suffocating quiet. 12 rooms in a single long row. A dozen doors painted a cheerful teal that since faded and blistered like a forgotten memory of happiness. Above each door, a yellowed lamp cover casts a weak, jaundiced glow, attracting a frantic congregation of moths. Only 8 of them are working. The other 4 are just dark, empty eyes. You walk towards the one light that seems a little brighter. The office. The word is painted on the glass in what was once elegant gold lettering, now flaking away like sunburnt skin. Inside, a single fluorescent light hums and flickers, casting everything in a sterile, buzzing pallor. A surprisingly pleasant bell chimes as you push the door open, a sound immediately swallowed by the silence inside. The air is thick with the ghosts of 1,000 smells: stale smoke, acrid coffee, cheap pine air freshener, and underneath it all, that same faint, coppery scent from outside. Mildew creeps up the wood-paneled walls like a dark, fuzzy disease. Behind the counter stands a man. He's thin, impossibly thin, like a coat hanger draped with pale, loose skin. His hair is slicked back with something greasy, and his eyes are the color of dishwater. They don't seem to blink. He's wearing a crisp white shirt, a little too tight at the collar, and a black string tie. A name tag is pinned crookedly to his pocket. Proprietor. He doesn't say, "Welcome." He just stares, a faint, unmoving smile on his lips. He's been expecting you. He's always expecting someone. Car trouble? His voice is too slow, like a cassette tape playing at the wrong speed. A dead, flat sound with no warmth in it. You nod. Finding your own voice feels difficult, like trying to speak through a mouthful of cotton. You explain the sputtering engine, the dead cell phone, the long, dark road. He listens, but he isn't really hearing. He already knows. He's heard this story 100 times. He simply slides a yellowed registration card across the worn countertop. The pen chained to the counter is cheap and clear, the ink almost gone. You fill it out. Name, address, license plate. It feels strangely final. He watches your hand move, his pale eyes tracking the scratch of the pen. When you're done, he doesn't look at the card. He just plucks a key from a hook behind him. The key is heavy, real brass. The tag is a red plastic diamond with the number 216 stamped in white. Just for the night, the proprietor says. It's not a question. He names a price. Cash only. Of course. You pull the worn bills from your wallet. As you count them onto the counter, his eyes finally move. They fixate on the money, and for a fleeting second, you see a hunger flicker in their flat depths. He scoops up the bills and drops the key. The clatter of brass on the counter is like a gunshot. "Enjoy your stay," he says, his smile widening just a fraction, showing a glimpse of pale gums. "Sleep well. You're our only guest tonight." The lie hangs in the air, thick and cloying. You know it's a lie. You can feel it. The motel isn't empty. It's full. It's overflowing with all the only guests who came before you. As you turn to leave, his slow, dead drone stops you. "Oh, and sir?" You turn back. He's polishing a spot on the counter with a dingy rag over and over. He doesn't look at you. "A word of advice. We respect our guests' privacy here. The room next to yours, room 217, the occupant is a very long-term resident, very particular, doesn't like to be disturbed. Best to just pretend that door isn't there." He still doesn't look up. You're dismissed. The little bell chimes your exit. Out in the cool night air, you take a deep breath, but it doesn't help. The air here feels used, second-hand. You stand there, the heavy key in your hand, and look down the long corridor of doors. Your room is at the far end, number 216, and right next to it, a blank door with tarnished brass numbers that seem to absorb the light around them. 217. You tell yourself it's just a creepy old motel, a weird owner. You're tired. You just need to sleep. You'll be gone in the morning. That's what I told myself too. Section 2. The Tour and the Rising Unease. The walk down the open-air corridor feels like a dream. The concrete is cracked and uneven. The air, which you thought was silent, is full of tiny, unsettling sounds. The buzz of the lights, the drip, drip, drip of a leaky gutter, the distant, mournful hum of the highway, a world you can no longer reach. You pass the swimming pool, a gaping black wound in the earth, surrounded by a rusted chain-link fence. A single plastic lounge chair lies on its side, stained green with algae. You can smell the water from here, a thick, sweet smell of decay. It's not the smell of a forgotten pool, it's the smell of a grave. You keep walking, your footsteps echoing. You feel watched. Not just by the proprietor in his little glass box, but by the motel itself. The dark windows are vacant eyes. The peeling paint is like shed skin. The whole place feels like a living organism, and you're something it just swallowed. Halfway down, you pass the ice machine, a hulking metal beast streaked with rust. It hums with a deep vibration you can feel in your shoes. A faded sticker shows a cartoon polar bear holding a bucket of perfect ice cubes, a cheerful image made monstrous by the decay. You stop. You're not thirsty, but the thought of something cold and clean is a powerful lure. You press your room's plastic bucket against the lever. Nothing. Then, with a deafening groan, a single cloudy chunk of ice drops into it. There's a small, dark speck trapped inside. Dirt, you tell yourself. Just an old, dirty machine. You press it again. Another groan. Another piece of ice clatters down. This one has a long, dark hair frozen inside. You pull the bucket away, your throat suddenly tight. The machine's hum seems to deepen, almost like a chuckle. You leave the bucket on the ground and walk away, faster this time. You pass room after room. 208, 210, 212. The numbers are a countdown. The air grows colder as you approach the end. You can hear something now. A television. Muffled, but you can make out the tinny, artificial cheer of an 80s sitcom laugh track. It erupts, then cuts off. Silence. Then it erupts again. It's not a show. It's a loop. A short, jarring burst of laughter, playing over and over in an empty room. Finally, you're at your door. Room 216. You fumble with the key, your hands slick with sweat. The lock is stiff, but finally gives with a loud, grating click. The laugh track in the other room stops. The sudden, absolute silence is somehow worse. You push the door open, quickly shut it, and throw the deadbolt. The heavy thud is a small comfort. You lean against the door, listening. Nothing. You turn and take in your sanctuary. The room is a preserved specimen of mid-80s despair. The carpet is a nauseating orange and brown, sticky under your shoes, with dark stains near the bed you try not to look at. The floral wallpaper is peeling at the seams. The air is thick with stale cigarettes and something else, something metallic and sweet, like old pennies. There are two beds with thin, scratchy brown bedspreads. Between them, a mustard-colored rotary phone sits on a nightstand bolted to the wall. On the far wall, an old, boxy television sits on a peeling dresser. One of its rabbit ear antenna is bent at a sharp, unnatural angle. You feel a strange compulsion to turn it on. You twist the knob. The screen erupts in a blizzard of static, a deafening roar. You twist through the channels, static, static, a brief, distorted glimpse of a face, mouth open in a silent scream, then static. You quickly turn it off. You sit on the edge of the bed, the mattress groaning. You stare at the wall you share with room 217. The wallpaper on this wall is different. It's the same pattern but darker, discolored in a large, irregular patch that spreads up from the floor like a terrible bloom. You touch it. The paper is stiff and brittle. And then you hear it. It's coming from the other side of the wall, from inside room 217. It's a soft, rhythmic scraping. Scrape. Pause. Scrape. Pause. Like a fingernail being dragged slowly across a wooden floor. You freeze, holding your breath. Scrape. Pause. Scrape. Pause. It's methodical, patient. Then another sound joins it. A soft, wet dripping. Not water. This is a thick, viscous sound. Plop, plop, plop. Scrape, plop, scrape, plop. Your heart is hammering. You want to run, but you're paralyzed, your feet rooted to the sticky carpet. This is where you begin to understand. This isn't just a place of neglect. It's a place of purpose. The proprietor didn't warn you about room 217 to protect what's in there. He did it to protect you. But that's the real trick of the rule, you see. It doesn't just forbid you, it tempts you, it dares you. It plants a seed of curiosity that's watered by the terror. The scraping stops. The dripping stops. Silence. A deep, profound, waiting silence. You sit there, in the dim yellow light, acutely aware of the connecting door between your room and the next. It's locked, you assume, but for the first time, you notice the small brass knob, and below it, the keyhole, a tiny black circular void. An eye looking into your room. Or maybe an eye for you to look out of. Section 3. The discovery and the climax. The silence stretches on, thin and taut. You stare at the connecting door, at that small, dark keyhole. My voice is a whisper in your mind, a cold echo of the proprietor's warning. Best to just pretend that door isn't there. But you can't. You stand up, your legs unsteady. You move toward the door, telling yourself you'll just check the lock. That's all. You reach out and touch the knob. It's ice cold, a deep, unnatural cold. You jiggle it. Locked. Solid. A wave of relief washes over you, but your eyes are still fixed on the keyhole, that tiny circle of blackness. The sounds you heard demand an image. You have to know. You have to see. The curiosity is a physical thing, an itch under your skin. This is how the motel wins. It doesn't break down the door. It coaxes you into opening it yourself. Slowly, you crouch down. You press your eye to the cold metal. At first, only blackness. Then, a shape emerges. The room beyond is a dark mirror of your own. A sliver of the buzzing sign's light cuts through the curtains. In the center of the room, a large, dark plastic tarp is spread on the floor. It's wet, glistening. An overturned bucket lies on its side, a dark, thick liquid pooled around it. And then you see the source of the scraping. It's the proprietor. He's on his hands and knees, his back to you, his white shirt stained with dark patches. He's holding a small brush, scrubbing the floorboards where the carpet has been pulled back. Cleaning. This is a crime scene. You're a witness. You need to get out. But you stay frozen, your eye glued to the keyhole, because there's something on the tarp. A long, lumpy shape covered by another sheet of plastic. The proprietor stops scrubbing. He gets to his feet. He turns. His pale face is spattered with dark liquid. His flat, dishwater eyes are staring directly at the connecting door, directly at the keyhole, directly at you. He smiles, a wide, predatory grin. He knows you're there. He knew you'd look. My voice is screaming in your head now. Run! Get out! Too late. He takes a step toward the door, then another. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a key. You hear it slide into the lock on the other side. A sharp, metallic click. The doorknob begins to turn. You scramble backward, blind panic finally setting you free. You bolt for the main door, fumbling with the deadbolt. It's stuck, jammed. Behind you, the connecting door creaks open. The thick, coppery slaughterhouse smell chokes you. I knew you were a curious one. The proprietor's slow voice says from behind you, so much closer. They always are. You wrench at the deadbolt. You can hear his soft, sticky footsteps on your carpet. No need to be rude, he says. I just wanted to introduce you to our other guests. With a final desperate heave, the deadbolt gives way with a crack. You throw the door open and stumble into the cold night. But your escape is cut off. Standing silently in front of your door are three other figures in faded motel staff uniforms. A hulking man, a thin, severe-looking woman, and a young man with wide, terrified eyes that look just like yours. They are the staff, the collectors. They just stand there, watching you, waiting. You're trapped. You glance back. The proprietor is standing in your doorway, holding an old, bulky VHS camcorder. He lifts it to his shoulder. A small red light on the front blinks on. So you see, it was never about ghosts. The motel isn't haunted by spirits. It's run by monsters made of flesh and blood. And room 217, it isn't a place of rest. It's a studio, the place where the films are made. The proprietor speaks again, his voice now a distorted mechanical crackle from the camera's small speaker. And action. Before we continue, I have a question for you. If you found yourself standing in the hallway of the Starlight Motel, with room 217 just a few steps away, would you open the door or keep walking? Let me know your answer in the comments. I'm curious to see how many of you would risk finding out what's inside. Now, where were we? Section 4, the aftermath. What do you do? Scream? No one will hear. Fight? They are 4 to your 1. Run? Where? Every path leads to the same place. The script is already written. The only choice you have is how you play your part. Instinct takes over. You turn and you run. You sprint down the concrete walkway, away from the camera's unblinking red eye. The yellow lights flash past in a sickening strobe. You don't look back, but you can hear them. They're not running, they're walking. A calm, measured pace. They don't need to rush. You reach the office. The light is off. The door is locked. You glance over your shoulder. They're closer now. The proprietor still filming your panic. The others flank him, a slow rising tide. Your only path is the dark parking lot. You stumble on the gravel, your breath in ragged sobs. Then you see it, a long, black car parked in the shadows. Hope, fragile and idiotic, flares in your chest. You race toward it, yank open the unlocked driver's side door, and throw yourself inside, slamming the lock. You are safe. For a second. You press your forehead against the cool glass, looking back. The four figures have stopped at the edge of the lot. They stand motionless, watching you. The red light is still on. They're just waiting. Why? You turn your attention to the car. It smells of old vinyl and that same faint metallic scent. Your fingers find the keys. They're in the ignition. You turn the key. The engine doesn't start, but the car comes to life. The dashboard lights flicker on, bathing you in a ghostly green glow. The radio crackles, not with music, but with his voice. Did you really think it would be that easy? You look at the figures. He's no longer holding the camera. He's holding a small walkie-talkie. Then, a small screen on the dashboard flickers on. It's showing you an image, the inside of your motel room. You see yourself enter, sit on the bed, crouch at the keyhole. You've been on camera the entire time. This car isn't a way out. It's the control room. The proprietor's voice crackles from the radio. We like to watch our guests. It makes for a better final product. The screen flickers to a new image. Shelves in a dark room, lined with hundreds of VHS tapes. Each has a neatly handwritten label. The camera zooms in. John Doe, October 12th, 84. Jane Smith, June 22nd, 87. A library of last moments. The camera pans down the shelf to the very last tape. The label is fresh. It's my name and the date I checked in. And right next to it is a brand new blank tape and a pen. You see it now, don't you? The horror isn't just one room, it's the whole system. The motel is a machine designed to lure, terrorize, record, and archive. And now you know how it works. You're no longer just a victim, you're an initiate. The conclusion. The screen in the car goes black. The lights die. The radio hisses static. You're plunged back into darkness. You look out the window. They're gone. The parking lot is empty. It's as if they were never there. You try the car door. It's unlocked. You stumble out. The night is quiet again. You look at the Starlight Motel, a shabby relic with a few weak lights burning against the darkness. The vacancy sign still flickering its poisonous lie. Was it real? You start walking towards the dark highway. You don't run. You don't look back. You just need to leave. You need to forget. Eventually the sun will rise. A car will stop. You'll get back to your life. You'll try to convince yourself it was all in your head. But you'll never forget the smell, the sounds, the library of tapes. And sometimes, late at night, when you're alone, you'll hear a faint whisper in the static. My voice. Welcome, traveler, I'll say. I am your guide for the night. Because they let you go. They wanted you to. The story is better that way. They know that you, like me, can never truly leave. You're part of the story now. A walking advertisement, an echo. And one day, on a lonely road, your car will break down. You'll see a faint, buzzing light in the distance, and you will find your way back. We all do. Because the motel is patient, and there's a blank tape on a shelf, just waiting to be filled. The motel doesn't just hold souls, it consumes their stories, and yours has only just begun. If you made it to the end, comment, I made it. So what do you think happens when you go back? Do you become one of the staff? Or do you finally get your starring role in the film they're making in room 217? Let me know what you think down in the comments. If you enjoyed this trip to the Starlight Motel and want more guided horror stories like this one, Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Every click helps the channel grow and ensures you never miss your next check-in time. Until next time, blow out your lanterns, try to get some sleep, and maybe stay away from old motels on empty highways.